What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Central Valley Livin. I'm your host, Jose. We got a special guest in here today, Mike Morantine, Fit J Mike. He's known by a lot of names, but if you're in the know, you would know him by Big Mike. You know, from back in the day. We used to live in the same neighborhood for at least like 5 years or so.
Yeah, at least.
Used to play football and all those good teen year days. But yeah, from what I've known, he's gone from breakdancing, ripping up the mic, entrepreneur, just always handling shit. You got your martial arts going, you got fitness, everything going on. And I love that shit. I love motivation. I love being motivated, and I love people that are able to do it for other people. So it's great that, you're having out this little public service for everybody. And let's get talking. Let's get your little intro in, and let's see what we're all about today.
Cool, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, since the days of Big Mike, now I do the motivational speaking, the life coaching, performance coaching, relationship coaching. I go by Michael J. Fit. That originates from my YouTube channel, Michael J. Fit, where I teach being fit physically as well as mentally. That's something I live and die by. And yeah, I love doing the fitness, martial arts, boxing, all of the avenues that I can get my hands on that's fun, that makes fitness fun. I mean, I like getting in the gym, going after those health goals, and really getting after everything there is in life. There's a lot of inner positivity and motivation that comes with it, because there's only so much time that we have here on earth. So why not take advantage of every single minute you have here and get everything you really want? A lot of times people, they really don't pursue their passions or their dreams or what they really want to do, either because they're afraid of what people may think about them, because it may not fit in, or they just don't think it's possible. And a lot of the times we do go after our dreams, but we see how hard it can be, and then we just give up. But rest assured, if you're able to persevere, stay consistent, and not give up, I mean, eventually those dreams will slowly but surely come true. But I mean, it's your patience and your willingness to actually go after it. And that's something that I really, push forth towards people, is really believing in themselves and believing what's really possible, and pushing forth towards how much you're truly capable of, because a lot of the times we underestimate ourselves. But, in a nutshell, that's kind of what I speak about, what I believe now, and what I love teaching.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that shit. It's about consistency has always been one of the main things that I've always pushed when it comes to like fitness and just, staying motivated. We talked a little bit about how, waking up in the morning, having a daily routine, wake up, drink coffee, drink some protein, or eat a little bit of vitamins, go to the gym every morning. It's not even a thing of thinking about like, do I want to go to the gym? It's like, no, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when the day starts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the gym is for me has become like something more than just, you know how they say it's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of cliche, and people are like, oh, what do you mean by that? And until you get into it, then you're like, okay, yeah. You wake up every morning, you stretch, you hit the bag if you have one, that's perfect. Any kind of cardio, I always push that. People are always about like, I don't have 2 hours to spend in the gym, or I'm like, dude, why are you spending in the gym for 2 hours? Like, don't talk on the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for people to stay motivated, especially in the gym, because they see other people that are doing max reps, running a mile in, 5 minutes. You're just like, dude, I can't keep up with them. I'm never going to be that great, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. And they'll make an excuse to not do anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've seen that so often, and with so many of my friends, and it upsets me. But it's a personal choice. Like I can motivate you. I can tell you how I do it. I can help you build a little plan for you, but it is up to you. It's it's a personal thing, and being motivated is really hard for people nowadays, and they don't understand how to do it. Yeah. And that's where people like you come in. That's great. Where you're like, let me show you what I do. This is a little bit about my mindset. Try it out for you. If it doesn't work for you, let's find out something different. Not all people are the same. That's why I tell them, especially when, working out and being motivated, it's like, we're not all the same. I'll tell you what I like to do and how I like to do it and my little structure, and you can, try it out for yourself, or, you pick out the good things and you're like, okay, well, I like doing this, I don't like doing this, but, the idea is to stay motivated, stay consistent, and like, that's really hard for people to do, because obviously if you start something, you're not going to be the greatest. Like, it's hard to find the people that find that they're they're the champions of, what they do, when they're 9 years old, like a Nas or something, like a great person like that. It's not every day. Like, not everybody's going to be a prodigy. But what you could do is you can make yourself into a hero over time. Like, heroes, they're made, they're not born. It's kind of like, Hercules had to, find out who he was before he could be a god. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's one of those things where being consistent and trying to stay motivated is so hard. And I've found that for me, not even thinking about it is like the main thing. Just, like I said, it's like not even a thought, like, I'm going to go to the gym. And people ask me like, oh, what are you doing today? I was like, oh, I got to go to the gym and, this, and they're like, oh man, you go every day? Yeah. Yeah, I'm paying for it. You're paying to go to the gym. Like, why would you not go?
There's so many people that have gym memberships and
Yeah.
they don't even go. Like 40% of the gym memberships, they don't even go.
Yeah, and it's outrageous because it's such a, it is $50 a month. Like, it's not something that you're not going to notice, and how I tell people is, you can buy whatever and you may lose it or whatever could break, but your body is forever. You're going to have it for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So why not make that your main focus of taking care of it?
Yeah.
You don't have to be vegan. You don't have to have like some crazy diet. You just have to be consistent on what you're doing and making sure that your choices, fit your goals. If you want a six pack, you can't be drinking every day. You know what I mean? If you want big arms, you gotta do some curl. It's a thing, but you gotta stay with it, and that's most people.
And it's like I don't really understand why people don't take their health and their fitness very seriously.
Exactly.
Because you're right, you do only have one body, and why aren't you going to take care of it? Because we rely on our bodies for so many things. We rely on them to move us around, to see, to
get out of
hear,
bed.
to get up, to breathe,
Yeah.
To operate. And yet we treat our bodies so disrespectfully when our bodies do so much for us. So why not show our bodies the respect they deserve? And our bodies crave fitness.
Oh yeah.
Our bodies crave nutrients.
We're not born.
To survive.
Yeah, we weren't born to sit around and play video games.
Yeah.
Or that's not what humans were made. We're made to go hunt. We're made to go fish. We're made to go be a community, and that's why sports were invented, because people were like, I'm bored. Let's go do something. That's how it all works. Like, we're not made to be sitting in a little cubicle and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's so upsetting, and it's become such a normal part of life that people, when you tell them that you're going to go for your goals, that you're going to go do what you want to do, they're like, don't do that. You can't do that, and because they're stuck in that mindset that this is what I need to do, 9 to 5 every day. I need to, no, you don't need to do that. It's like, that's just the system that's been set up. And, recently, I even left my job to go, I'm doing school full time. I'm trying to get that done. I'm 31 years old. Like, there's no better time to get what you need done, than now, because it's, not, the next year is not promised. You don't know what's going to happen. So many things can happen within a month, within a day. You know what I mean? Your whole life can change. So why not make sure that you're ready for that? Like, mentally, physically, you know what I mean?
Emotionally and spiritually. I mean, every single day is a blessing.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why they call it the present, because, it's essentially the present moment is a present. It's a gift, So every single morning when you wake up, a lot of the times people, they can look at life two ways. When they wake up and they roll out of bed, they go, oh, here goes another day. Oh man, what do I got to do today? Or
another
you can wake up. You can wake up and you can complain, or you can wake up and celebrate the fact that you even woke up, because then it wasn't even a guarantee that you would even wake up that morning, because a lot of people have fallen asleep and they didn't wake up the next morning.
Exactly.
So when you wake up, when that alarm clock goes off, you wake up and you feel blessed. Here's another day. Here's another day to do whatever I want. A lot of the times people don't think they're in control of their lives. They don't think they have choices. You have choices every single day to live however you want, do whatever you want, and be however you want. They think you have to conform to society's expectations.
Exactly, the system.
You don't. Yeah, you don't. You can break out and be whoever you want to be. Just the key is to be carefree about it and don't let other people judge you, no matter what people say about you or what people think about you. Get that out of your mind, get that out of your head, and go your own direction. Do what you really want, because in the end, it's your life.
Exactly.
And they're not going to live it for you. They're living their own lives. So a lot of the times people just keep so focused on what are they going to think? And,
Yeah.
oh,
what are they going to think of me?
You know?
What are they going to think of my decision? It's like, why do you care?
Yeah. And
if that's the right decision for you in your head, and you've done the math, you've done in your head, you're like, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. Why is that a thought for somebody else to make for you? Why is that a decision for somebody else to make for you with their own opinions? Because they're, who knows what they're doing. If I were to ask, a 9-to-5er, what you're supposed to do with your day, they would tell you, you go to work, you go home, you make dinner, you play some video games or whatever, and you go to sleep and do it all over again. Mm-hmm. But if I were to ask someone like you, who took the step to, do your dreams, try to promote yourself and do all these nice things, you're going to be like, dude, follow your dreams, mm-hmm. like take the chance, take that leap, and that's what we're losing in we're slowly grabbing it back, but more people need to be like you, where it's just like, nah, man, go follow your dreams. If you got something on your mind, you don't have to just quit your job and, go cold turkey and just be like, nah, let's just go full force. But, creep in there, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like incrementally you're like, oh, if I want to, we actually were going to start making shirts. I know that you were in that little business for a little while, printing stuff. We have a little printer. We're going to start doing that. And, it's all steps, like buying the ink. He had the machine, so buy the ink. We're going to start making shirts, figure out what works. And, it's a process. But the whole thing with following your dreams is being consistent and not, going lazy. Because it's easy to just fall off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just, if you do have a goal, it is positive to actually shoot for that thing, because then you just, mentally you have less stress. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you're not doing what they want you to do.
Right.
You're doing what you want to do. At least 1-2 hours a day, you're doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And that in essence is it's better than just wasting that time watching television.
And that's a key to being fulfilled, is doing what you love to do. I really don't think you have to do what you love to do for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're still doing what you love to do. There's a lot of people out there that are insanely rich with their career, and they're caught up in their career, and they're making all this money. They have a wonderful house, an awesome car, and they're fucking depressed.
No hobbies.
Or they're just angry all the time.
Yeah, because they never learned how to have a hobby. Nobody told them hey, go out for an hour and go do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Everybody was always probably hammering them down, oh, you need to work, and then mm-hmm. they put that in their own head, and mentally they're just I need to work. Mm-hmm. I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to paint a picture. Mm-hmm. Even though I love art, I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. And they're just, and they're depressed.
And it kind of defeats the whole purpose, because you think about it. Anything we really do in life, everything we really do in life is to make us happy. And it's not like a greedy thing, because you take care of you work hard to take care of your family because it makes them happy, and in turn that makes you happy.
It fills you, because you're exactly. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so to be fulfilled and to be happy, truly happy and fulfilled, you have to do what you love to do. And in life is an experience. For sure. We all die. We all are born, and then we go through this experience of life, and then we die. But it's not enough just to experience life. It's the experience within the experiences of life, and how you experience life. Someone I recently talked to was really kind of just had this mundane feeling about life. It's just what's the point?
Exactly.
There's just no point in it. And I was telling this person that we were born to create, discover, conquer, and love and really live and experience life, experience the experience of life. So when you hear somebody say, live life to its fullest or live every day to its fullest, it sounds cliche.
Yeah, cliche.
But you really think about it. You only have so much time when you're here. So why not spend that time doing anything and everything that you want to do? Because you're right. I mean, you don't know when it's going to be your time. So you might as well live every day to its absolute fullest and get everything that you possibly can out of life. I mean, squeeze every last drop you can out of it.
Yeah.
And really, truly live how you want to live. Don't wait. There's no need to wait. Oh, yeah, one day I'm going to do this.
One day I'm going to do it. It's like,
no doubt there are some things, you can't do, whether it's financially, you're not there financially. I want to do this one day. But as long as you're still working towards that, a lot of times people have a regular job and they're not really doing anything else. They have a dream that they would love to do, but they're not doing anything to further themselves towards that.
Yeah.
So they get miserable, or they get down, or they just get angry about life. As long as you're doing something every single day to push yourself towards that, then you will feel that much more fulfilled. So right now, if you're at a certain point where you just don't see a purpose, or you don't feel like there's just much more, really find out what you really want to do. Find out how you really want to live, and just start working your way towards that. No doubt it's going to take some time, but as long as you're just taking steps every single day, and when you start making those little wins every day, and you get that progress every day, you'll start to feel more momentum. You'll start to feel more motivated and excited about it, and you'll start to push yourself even more, and you'll truly see what you're capable of and what you can really get out of life.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's, one thing that I'm trying to teach my daughter, because, her whole thing is, kids nowadays are growing up super fast. Yeah. Obviously, with all this technology and all, just so much information out there. We grew up a little bit slower. This was a smaller town. We would go outside. There was no internet. Right. There was, if we wanted to listen to certain music, we had to go to that house that had that music. You know what I mean? Like, there was no staying inside and just thinking about life and being stuck with your thoughts.
Right.
So, and she's just like, well, what's the point of all this? What's the, she's going to be 11. So, she's, getting those preteen years where she's just like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, hormones are starting to creep that she's just like, I don't know why my body feels like this, So, and she's just like, well, what's the point? And I'm like, oh, the point is to learn something new every day. You know what I mean? Take an incremental step towards your goal. And I'm like, you don't have to know what you want to do now. I'm just like, I'm just kind of pointing her in directions. I was like, that's my job, is to kind of point you in a direction. And, if you like tennis, get down on some tennis. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. Just, at least we tried. You know what I mean? And we'll give it a few tries before you actually give it up, because the first time you're gonna suck. She's just like, I'm not good at these things that I'm trying. I'm like, well, no, because you've only tried it like twice. Yeah. Like, I've been skateboarding for 15 years, and I say I suck, but people will watch me and be like, dude, that was sick. Like, how'd you do that? I'm like, what? It's just things that you don't understand the value. But the idea is to take those incremental steps, and then you never know. One day it might actually turn into something lucrative, or it's just a hobby that keeps you sane. You know what I mean? Another thing about fitness and all, especially skateboarding, was it keeps me sane. You know what I mean? Mental clarity, especially with skateboarding, because that thing, either you're gonna get hurt or you're gonna be awesome, and it's gonna, or you're gonna get both. Like, it's gonna kick your ass. Like, anyway, anybody that's ever skateboarded for more than just a day, they'll know you're gonna fall, you're gonna get hit. Like, it's gonna hurt, but the idea is to try it again. That's what a lot of skateboarders. That's what I like about the culture, is they are tough dudes. You know what I mean? Like, they are very highly motivated people, because you can try a trick, eat shit, and then not want to try it again. That's a normal part of human thing. Is like, I don't want to try that again. I don't want to get hurt again. But if you're just like, got to do it again, and the idea is to not hurt myself. So I'm going to not do what I did last time, and learning from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And, that kind of mentality, it goes a long way. People are down on skateboarders a little bit, but I feel like their mindset and their motivations are actually like in the right place.
Well, you think about it too, and it's a perfect example with skateboarding. It has nothing but benefits for you. I mean, except when you fall off and you land on your face. I mean,
hey, that's a learning experience. You're not going to do that again,
exactly.
Right?
But I mean, you think about it. They say you want to do things that kind of scare you every single day. Not things that are like so dangerous, but things that
put
kind
you
of
on the edge a little.
Yeah, and get you out of your comfort zone and let you know that, hey, I'm really living life right here.
Yeah. You're trying.
It's healthy for you. Your brain's going. I mean, your brain's operating. I mean, it has to study, all of the aerodynamics of it.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of geometry. There's a lot of things going on with that.
And it's healthy for you. You're getting exercise. You're outdoors, and you're learning something. When you're progressing at it, the better you get at it. It's going to build your confidence the way you're better at it. And a lot of people are struggling with their confidence.
Yeah.
Well, figure out what you can tackle that you're good at. A lot of people want to know, well, how can I build my confidence? I'll tell you this right now is a confidence hack. Try something new, stick to it, get better at it. When you see the progress, you're going to start building your confidence. And then you conquer that one thing, whatever that one thing is. Whatever, just find something you want to do. Conquer that one thing, and after you conquer that, that's going to boost your confidence. It's going to confidence, and it's going to get your brain going as to where it goes. You know what? I did that. Now what else can I do? Exactly. If I can do that, then I can probably do this too. And you start doing all of these, start trying these new things, you start tackling these new things, you start conquering these new things, and before you know it, you just have ultra confidence because you know what? I did that. I can do this. I can do that. You know what? I'm going to do that now. Yeah. And you no longer say, I wonder if I can do that. You go, no, I'm going to do that next. This is what I'm going to do next.
It's like, oh, yeah, I've done that. Mm-hmm. I love saying that.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, I've never done this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I've done that. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, really? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that I haven't done, obviously. One is like shoot a gun. So that's my goal for the year is to buy a gun and learn how to shoot. Mm-hmm. It just seems like something that it is something that we should all know how to do. Right. To, whether protection or hunting. Mm-hmm. When that comes back, man, a lot of people are going to be screwed because one, they're not athletic. They don't go hiking. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you have to, hunting is a very athletic thing to do. You have to go hike. You have to carry all this stuff. If you do make a hit, then you have to carry that meat back and you have to, fight off whatever's going to,
Yeah, you have to clean it and cook it and all that kind of stuff.
So and that kind of thing is great. I love savagery. You know what I mean? In its truest form, as far as, like these ultra marathon runners, these people that, the strong man competitions. It's not about, like what I tell people when they see me watching these things or like, they're like, why are you so excited? Olympics, why are you excited about the Olympics? Like these guys are the top of their thing. These guys are motivational, like they're motivation on the screen. Like how can you not watch like these athletes do this stuff? And it's not so much what they're doing or that's something that I want to do, but it's the mindset, it's the motivation. Mm-hmm. Dude, nobody's telling you to lift that 500-pound boulder off the floor and put it on this stake. These dudes are like, I just want to do it, and you're just like, yeah, I want to do it too, mm-hmm. And that kind of stuff is great. And but the thing is that people get stuck on this like reality shows and TV, mm-hmm. like all this other things that just really aren't motivational in any sort of fashion. But I'm over here watching like the CrossFit games. Like I'm not into CrossFit, but those people are beasts, man. It's a really good thing, and especially since my field of study right now is sports medicine. Mm-hmm. So I'm going for kinesiology. So that's gonna be my future is these athletes that I want to try to help and help maintain and help recover. Cool. So and then along the way, I'm learning how to help myself and my family. You know what I mean? So that it's all about education to me and finding a goal, whether or not it's you actually do what you set out to do, you can actually still be in the realm. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not the fittest dude, you can still be a health coach. You know what I mean? Like you can, if you're not the power lifter, but you're the person motivating that power lift, or you're, I'm a massage therapist too. So you're the person helping them recover. It's like you're still part of the team. but you're not the main person, which, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to be the main guy.
Yeah.
But no, man, that main person still has a team behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Like any boxer, any MMA fighter, anybody that does anything in this world, they have a team behind them,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of people that are helping them, motivating them, fucking, you know, telling them to shoot for the stars because they want to see this person progress because it makes them feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether or not they're the, you know, the star or not, you know, they're still helping. You know what I mean? That's great.
That's one thing too. If you're out for your goals, if you have that dream, if you're really trying to do something with yourself that's just different, and you have a bunch of negative people that don't support you in that, and though, you know, you can't get rid of like family, you know, you can't.
I mean,
you know, like
people can contest to that, man. You can get rid of whoever you want.
Yeah.
Not physically, but mentally.
Yeah, as far as you know, that goes. I mean, if they really don't support your dreams, or those people, whoever it is, if they don't talk to those people about your dreams. Don't take their advice. You know, don't mention it. But what you do need to do is find people, like-minded individuals. If you need to make new friends, if you need to make new connections, they don't even need to be in your city. You can make them online. There's so much online people you can meet now that
networking
support you. Yeah, that support you, and you support them, and you find those like-minded individuals. That's only going to feed your positivity and get your momentum going as to where, you know what, I can do this. And like going back to the reality shows, you can watch those for two reasons. You can watch those because you want to see other people doing what you want to do, but you don't do it. And the reason why you watch them is because you're too afraid to do it, or you don't have the motivation or drive to do it, or whatever your reason is. Yeah. So you just want to watch somebody else do it. And that, and that's not really, you know, going to get you anywhere in life. I mean, I really don't understand why so many people do that. But if you're doing that already, like if you're talking about like those strongman competitions, and you actually are practicing for a strongman competition, and you're actually working out, and you plan on doing the strongman competitions, or you're already doing them, and you know, you watch some of the reality shows to kind of motivate you too and give you ideas. See, that's different. Yeah. So it's like, why are you watching?
Why are you watching?
Yeah, like for me, I'd rather be on stage rather than, you know, going and watching other people be on stage. I mean, no doubt I like a good show, or I'll go and watch a motivational speaker, but I'd rather be on stage. Yeah. You know what I mean? Rather than watching somebody else do it. So it's like, why are you really doing it? What feeds your motivation? And it's kind of like again, making the most out of life. Why watch somebody else do it when you can do it?
Yeah, it's like they had to learn how to do that. Mm-hmm. Like it took time for that person to learn how to do that. You know, you can't just expect like it has to happen. Like, you know, you're not going to be a YouTube sensation overnight. Well, unless, you know, you're Will Smith, because that dude's killing it.
Right.
But you know, he was already somebody. So if, you know, you know, at first you didn't know who he was. Like back in, you know, Independence Day, no one knew who he was. You just knew he was just this like funny like dude that was, you know, came on the scene, and he had, you know, a lot of help with him.
Well, like I heard an interview with Kevin Hart. And he was talking about
Hart's a great example.
He was talking about how people were like, wow, like when he blew up, people were like, wow, who is this guy? Like, he's just coming out on all these shows, and he's coming on all these movies, and just came out of nowhere. Yeah. And Kevin Hart is like, yeah, I came out of nowhere, and it took me 15 years to do so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was grinding, man. He was grinding so hard. I love his story. You know, anybody that hates on that dude is just, it's silly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and The Rock too, you know, with him, those guys, like, follow their Instagram, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with a motivational person, like, especially with Instagram, okay? So if you don't have those friends in your life that are motivational, that'll push you to do something, there's Instagram, man. There's a community out there, like you were saying, that of like-minded individuals that will help you if you have questions. You know, you don't have to know them personally. Like, you know, you follow them, you know, you kind of, you know, especially if they're like good on the mic and can motivate in front of the camera rather than just show their workouts. You know what I mean? That's great. Like, there's no reason to not follow those people. Like, Kevin Hart is great. He's always running. He's always on his grind. He's showing you, like, this is what you can do if you try. You know what I mean? Like, how I feel about reality show kind of stuff is those people are like, you know, this is what I got. That's what's up, you know, and like just kind of flashing it. more where Kevin Hart, you know, he's showing what he has, and he's just like, I earned this. That you can do this too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you know, there's nothing that you can't do if you don't put your mind to it. And even if you don't get, like I said, financially make it a viable thing to live off of, it's mentally making you better to where you can do something that is financially, you know, what you need to do. And you'll feel less stressed. You'll feel a lot better about doing an activity that that isn't what you want to do, but you know you have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's a lot of people that you can reach out to, even people that you look up to where they have a big following.
Yeah.
That they will get back to you if you message them, or sometimes you maybe have to hound them a little bit. I mean, I don't know that exactly, you know, The Rock or...
Dude, those guys are in the millions, you know.
But there's been a few times where there's people that I looked up to that I was following their channel. I was watching a lot of their stuff, and I'll reach out to them and reach out to them and reach out to them, and they wouldn't get back to me until finally, like, one day I'm like, oh crap, they reached back out to me. You know, they will reach out to you.
Yeah, if they know you're serious. Yeah.
Just keep going after them and just find those people, and you'll be surprised how much inspiration they can bring you and motivate you, and maybe just give you that little kick that you need to push you over that mountain right there just to get you going. Yeah,
and that little kick, it's hard to find that person that'll do it properly, because you know you can have people that just say, well, why don't you just go do it, you know, and they're just like, oh, okay. You know, like, there's nobody that'll tell you, you need that person that'll tell you, like, you know, it sucked, you know, it sucks doing this stuff, but you got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fun sometimes, and you're gonna fail, but the idea is to not lose track of the goal. And I feel like, especially with a lot of people nowadays, they just lose track of the goal, or it's too hard. They're like, it's too hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's hard. It's not supposed to be easy, you know, but you have a lifetime to do it.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do it now. You can, like you said, incremental steps, and then you build towards your goal. But, yeah, I love following people like that, and, you know, any kind of fitness stuff. You know, even with girls, they can follow those girls that are just, you know, they're jacked, you know, and in a sexy way. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all I tell people is just like, follow a few people, do some reading, do a little bit of research, you know, find out what works for you. You don't have to go keto, you know, just like off the bat and stuff like that. You just have to figure out, like, I'm drinking too much soda. Let me just cut that back, or cut that out in all general, you know, or I'm not drinking enough water. All right, let me drink an extra cup or two a day. You know what I mean? And then you just, you know, and then you slowly just start mentally getting better and healthier, and then your body will follow with it. You know what I mean? But I like how not only are you motivational as far as, you know, inspiring people and fitness, but you were saying you do relationship help too. What do you say to people that are like kind of on the edge of, you know, I'm not sure if I want to stay with this person or not, or, you know, maybe it just seems like it's going down the wrong road. How can I kind of divert it a little bit? How can I figure out what's, you know, what a game plan to make sure it doesn't go sour, if, you know, especially if they don't want it to. You know what I mean?
Well, that right there, I mean, if it's going to go sour, it's going to go sour. You could put in all of the work and all of the effort and do all of the right things on your end.
Yeah.
But if the other person doesn't want it, or they don't want to work with you to actually come together and find out exactly what needs to be done to make it a successful relationship. This is a mistake that a lot of people make in relationships, was they'll just jump into a relationship where they're
like, I like this person. We had to be together.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
they like them. They have the same hobbies. They agree on a lot of things. But here's one thing that needs to be discussed that they don't really discuss is, what are your values? What do you value in life, and what do you value in a relationship? You don't have to have the same values in life or in a relationship as your partner, but it's important that you know what they are and they know what yours are, so you can respect them. Exactly. So if one of my values in life is gardening, I love to garden. My partner doesn't need to love to garden too, but it's important that they respect my gardening time. When I go in the backyard and it's time to garden, you better respect it. Because the moment
you know what I'm doing, don't disturb me. You know
the moment you
give
start,
me my time.
Start taking away from that, you're kind of taking away from your partner's freedom, and you're trying to take away who they are. So you need to respect those. And also, what do you value most in a relationship? So one of the things I value most in a relationship is peace. That's one of my top values in a relationship, is I must have a peaceful relationship. It would be just detrimental to my health, my life, my relationship, if I was with somebody who couldn't control their anger. I could never be with somebody who couldn't control their anger, or who was always getting upset and bringing, a drama to the relationship. So it would be important for me to be with somebody who is peaceful, and to have that. So when you understand yourself more and you understand your partner, then you have the understanding of the relationship. And that is ideally how you have the most successful relationship. But as far as focus, it's focusing and understanding yourself. If you need to understand why you want to be in that relationship. And if you don't want it to end because you're afraid you're going to be alone, then you need to conquer that loneliness. That is going to expose a very crucial part of you that you need to work on. You need to work on what it's like to feel alone, for example. For a long time, that's what my thing was. And I found out about myself, is that I was just afraid to be alone. I didn't want to be alone.
It's a lot of people.
Just
go from relationship to relationship, and they don't want to be stuck with their own thoughts, because then that's scary.
There's so many people out there like that. They feel like they need somebody. And I'll tell you right now, there's nothing wrong with being alone. Actually, when you're alone, that's when you actually discover yourself, and you develop a close relationship with yourself. A lot of the times we go through a breakup and we're devastated and we feel so alone and we don't know what to do with ourselves, is because we lost the relationship we had with ourselves. We lost the relationship we had with our friends and our family, and what we love to do and who we are. So we no longer have an identity when we go through that heartbreak. Who am I? What am I going to do with myself now? No, you still have your purpose. And that's a big thing with men, is that we must know our purpose. I mean, even females too. We must know what we were put here to do. And nonetheless, we must stay on that path of progress and fulfilling ourselves with our purpose. And we can't just rely on our partner to make us happy. Because this is what a lot of the people do, is a big mistake, is we'll be on our path, we'll have our purpose, we're doing all of these wonderful things, we're so happy, we're so elated, and we're just on this high vibrational frequency. And then we meet somebody, and then everything's going good, we fall in love, and we drive them crazy, and then all of a sudden we put everything else on the back burner and we put them as a main priority.
Make it an hour thing. Instead of still having yours, she has hers, and then you have yours. You know what I mean? Like, people, what they do, especially when they go from relationship to relationship, is they form these hour hobbies. You know what I mean? They don't even have their own thing. They don't even know what they like to do, because they haven't been alone enough to actually explore that avenue of, like, what do I like to do? You know what I mean? Like, they always have somebody there that'll be like, oh, well, let's go do this, or or let's go on a trip, let's go to the, let's go do this, that. But when they're left to their own devices, they're like, well, what do I do? They're like, I always had somebody to help me go do these things, or we're gonna go do this together. It's like things that are me time. Like, people don't, when they're given that, they don't know. Like, especially with, like, self-reflection. That's what you were saying, with identity, people don't understand, like, what their identity is until you're actually alone. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be single. You have to have nobody there. You know what I mean? I went, went from, relationship, high school, And then after, in my 20s, I went like 5 years just single, just, by myself, communicating with people, whatever. But I was mostly just by myself and figuring out what I like to do. I wanted to find out who I was. You know what I mean? Like, And now that I understand who I am, what makes me happy, what I enjoy doing, the things that I know are going to piss me off, the things that I know are going to make me happy, the things that I know will probably bounce me back from being pissed off. You know, like it's like, give me a second. I'll, 1, 2, 3, breathe. You find these things out when you're alone, when you're single, when you're by yourself. And what you do is you keep those things, and then you tell, like you were saying, you communicate. Like a lot of, like how I feel is people don't even communicate anymore. They're just together. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a physical attraction, whether it's just, the worst thing is like, oh, we had a kid, and they don't even like each other, and they just like, oh, we're just stay together for the kid, and just toxic environments altogether for everybody. And I just don't understand how people can't be alone and just figure out who you are. That ask them, who are you? You know what I mean? Like that was one of the main things with this podcast is like I wanted to know like who are you? Like what makes you tick? Who what vibes do you give out? And then have them ask them like, have you done any kind of like self? What's your hobbies? Like do you have hobbies? Like you've never had a hobby?
Right.
Like. They're just like, no, well, I usually just do whatever my boyfriend does, or whatever, your girlfriend. And it's like, well, what about you? And then they're just like, oh, man. And you're like, well, you figure that out, and I'll be right here. Yeah. We'll keep talking, but, you need to do some, like, little soul searching before you come over here and build camp. You know what I mean?
People live life however, what makes you happy makes you happy. But it drives me crazy when I talk to somebody, and I'm like, so what do you do? I just work.
Yeah. What's your hobby? I don't know. I go to work.
I go to work. Well, what do you do when you go home? Just kick it.
I take long drives, watch Netflix.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, what do you do? And
like for 16 hours a day? Yeah. Like that's all you do?
I mean, for me, I could never live like that. But I understand though. You work hard and you want to pay your bills and take care of your fam. If that's what you're doing and that's what makes you happy, well then. More than power to you. I respect that. But in a relationship, though, too, if you're feeling, there's a difference between you're connected with your partner and you're attached to your partner. And that attachment can be very dangerous for you, especially if you don't have anything else going on besides hanging out with your partner. I highly suggest you get out and you find your other hobbies. And it's important that you let your partner do their other hobbies too, as long as they're healthy. Yeah. If your partner's hobby is going out to the strip club, that's might be a little unhealthy, I know.
But, well, what are they doing there? You know what I mean? Are they the bartender, or are they actually, or is that just their form of fun? Is just to go watch chicks, dance and stuff?
Because you think about it in a relationship.
Like, I don't know, work in the restaurant.
Yeah,
I'm the cook.
If you two are as you come together in a relationship as one, but you two are individuals nonetheless, always. And you two, it's very important that each person in the relationship is doing something to progress themselves, to work on themselves, to make themselves the absolute best that they can for themselves, for their partner, and for the relationship. So if one person in the relationship is at their absolute best and working on themselves, discovering more about themselves, going for more, achieving their goals and dreams, and the other person isn't doing anything, and they're actually going downhill, and they come together, then it's going to cause one person to go down with them. Yeah. When if both people in the relationship are progressing, they're making themselves better, they're working on themselves, they're going after their dreams, they're fulfilled and happy within themselves.
Yeah, like a steady high.
And they come together, then that's the ideal relationship right there. The most successful relationship is two people are happy as individuals and come together and don't rely on their partner to make them happy. They just add to their happiness.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I don't understand too is, people will just be together and they're not happy, and it's just like, well, what makes you happy? And I don't know. It's like,
right.
What are you going to do? It's like, well, how can I help you if you don't even know what helps you? Right. And that's that whole soul searching thing. And, I love taking time and, give me an hour or whatever. That's what I do at the gym too, is a lot of mental clarity. while I'm stretching, you have music blasting in your ears. You're looking in the mirror. You're like, I need to work on this. I need to work on this. And then you see somebody that's, has what you want. And you're like, all right, well, let me see what they're doing. All right, I want to get that pump too.
Right,
you know what I mean? And, just trying to find it as a motivational thing rather than looking in the mirror and being like, you piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I hated that feeling. I've been there. Depression is a real thing, and it's a son of a bitch, man. Like, obviously there's levels. We all battle with them every day. But with me, I found that whenever I feel like, just like, I don't want to do anything. Those are the days where I actually go and do something.
Right.
Because I'm just like in a mood. Even if I go and suck, you know what I mean? Like, even I'm lifting shitty at the gym, or if I go to the skate park and fall right away and just, and it adds to it for a second, but then you're just like, well, I'm already here. Let's do this. You know what I mean? I love the sunshine, the sunlight, dude. People like, they hate on that shit for some reason, but go outside, man. Like, enjoy the sun. You don't have to be the best runner, but eventually, you can join a marathon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And people that come together and they don't have anything going for them, and then they put, you put two turds together, it's just a bigger turd. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you can't do that. You got to find ways to, one, motivate yourself so that you can motivate someone else. And if they're self-motivated and they can motivate you, you guys are just going to climb, man. Mm-hmm. And like, it's okay to get out of a toxic relationship, especially if there's nothing holding you down. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what another thing that I find with people, they just stay in relationships just cause. Mm-hmm. They don't have kids. They don't have a house together. They don't have, they're just together. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like, why? They're, it's like, I've been together with her for like a year or two. It's just like, well, what
yeah, they're always fighting. They're always putting each other down.
Oh, yeah, I hate that, man. It's just so down.
You can't live life like that.
Yeah, those toxic relationships, man, where they're just sitting there, like, calling each other bitches, and, like, every other word is the F word, and just, they're always fighting, and then you're like, well, it's like, are you guys cool? Like, yeah, that happens every day.
Yeah.
That's okay?
Well, it definitely shouldn't be like that. I mean, there's something wrong there.
Yeah. But they fail to admit it, or is it do you think it's like denial, or is it they're scared?
And here's the thing. Sometimes, and it sounds like unbelievable, but people are addicted to the fighting. They're addicted to the conflict. The
drama, they love that shit.
They love the feeling of being scared, or they love the feeling of being angry in a relationship, or they grew up and that's how their parents' relationship was.
Yeah, so they don't know any different.
They just think that that's how it is and that's how it's supposed to be, when it's just something that you were brainwashed into, and there was something that happened to you when you were a child, maybe, or when you were a child. That's a lot of our current thoughts are from our childhood past, or what we experienced as a child decorated us into something that we are now, and we have those beliefs. When that specific incident or incidences happened when we were a child, we were forced to interpret them because no one was around to tell us what happened or what's actually happening. So we were forced to come up with these own self-beliefs on how we believe life is, or the world is, people are, or how our relationships should be. So now, as grown adults, that's what we think how life just is, or how life should just be, and how it is, and we get comfortable in discomfort. And it sounds weird, but
it's your brain, man.
It's just how you're programmed. But if you really step out of that and go, you know what? That's not how I want to live. That's not how I want a relationship to be. That's not the relationship I want to be in. I'm no longer going to be scared. I'm empowered, and I'm not afraid to leave. And you do leave that relationship, or you do something drastic as to where you change your perception of reality and what you really want in life. And you begin to notice that things start to change for you, and you start going towards your path of what you really want and how you really want it to be. If you're constantly angry with yourself a lot of the times, your energy is going to spread to your partner.
Exactly.
So if you are the one that is angry or sad or frustrated a lot of the times, and you're the one starting the problems, it's going to cause your partner to start the problems too. I mean, they're not perfect.
And then you're going to start blaming them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just this big ongoing
Yeah.
cycle of just anger, frustration, and, you know, fighting and name calling and all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, when it gets to name calling, I hate it.
And so you really have to find out why you're angry and why you're depressed. If you're depressed, I would suggest these things right here is whatever happened to you, find out what it is, what you're sad about, or what's got you down about yourself or about life, and let that shit go. Let it go and move on. You don't need to hold on to it. Anything that does not benefit you, let it go. If it does not benefit you for you or your life or for everybody else, let it go. Focus on what you want for yourself and how you want to be, and decide that that's what's going to happen and that's how I'm going to be, and you don't accept anything less than that. And you just keep moving forward towards that. Find your passion, find what fulfills you. Do that every single day. Take time to yourself to meditate or to walk in nature or to read or to write. Find that time to yourself where you can just reflect back and keep that relationship strong with yourself. Work out, exercise.
Some sort of exercise.
It's scientifically proven that exercise reduces your stress, can cure depression, you know, calms your anxieties. It just has just tremendous health benefits for your mind and your body. If you're doing those things right there, those are big indicators of you beginning to lose your depression, get rid of your depression, and just constantly putting forth the effort. As long as you're putting forth the effort and don't give up on your happiness. You got to remember this right here. I was in a deep meditation session, and I came to a realization that we were born happy.
Yeah.
We choose to abandon it. We were born happy, and we choose to abandon our happiness. We choose to throw our happiness away. So if you think about that it's a choice. Happiness is a choice.
Definitely.
Not all the time it's easy, because there is really fucked up shit that happens.
Yeah.
You know, you go through some stuff. It's gonna take time, but realize it is gonna take some time to get over it. But as long as you're putting forth the effort to get over it, don't try to force it. I mean, it's gonna pass when it passes. But as long as you keep putting forth the effort for your happiness and you don't give up on it, sometimes you gotta fight for your happiness.
Oh yeah.
You gotta fight for your happiness.
I think a lot of it is the fight, and then, you know, like finding the happiness is just the most rewarding thing, you know, because you can find happiness in like the worst situations, or, you know, just something that it distracts you from the main problem just enough, not puts it on the back burner or whatever, but it's just like, and you're just like, you know, you think it's like, okay, well, you know, it's shitty, but well, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got to take that 2 seconds to be like, let me find something good out of this situation. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing that I feel like people don't know how to do too, is, you know, find some sort of thing that is like, all right, hold on. Let me think about the main goal here. Let me think about what we're doing, and let's figure out if it's something that we can fix. You know, like you said, if one person is sour and the other person is not, and is really trying, like, it's not going to work. But, you know, and that comes back to communication, where you tell them, like, hey man, like, what's going on here? You know, like, we're fighting all the time. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, have a nice little dinner and a drink and be like, oh, what are we going to do? You know, and if it's like, is this going to work? Because if it's not going to work, then we need to figure something out. You know, like, you know, make it on like communication terms, rather than being like, get the fuck out of my house, you know? Like, you know, you don't want to get there. And then that's where it will lead, you know, if it's not made to work. Like, you know, like I said, a lot of people, you know, they get physically attracted to their mates, and that's one thing, which is great. You gotta be physically attracted to them. But, you know, and then when it comes to, like, you know, what's their favorite color? You're just like, oh, fuck, I don't know. Like, oh, what kind of music they listen to? Like, oh, you know, and they have no knowledge of their actual partner.
Yeah.
More than just like, I know what she likes in bed, you know, she likes when I tickle her hair, you know, whatever. They actually don't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, well, what are we gonna do, man? Like, that's one of the main things that I think is hard for people, especially in a relationship, when they've been into a relationship for more than a year or so. It's like, so, what are we gonna do? You know, because they're like, well, I already invested this time. You know, a year? It's not really a lot of time to be invested. Like I invested a year in a Guitar Hero. You know, you know, like and I'm still alive, and you know, like the other shit's happened, but you know, you invest, you know, that you're like, oh, I invested a lot of time and energy and stuff, and just like, well, might have to do it again. Yeah. And that's a scary thing to people, is like that restart. So that's what I found is scary to a lot of people, is that restart. And I don't like it either. I had to do it recently, and you know, after 4 or 5 years, you know, in a relationship, and then it's just done. You know, and it's just like, okay. You know, I was like, well, what do I do now? You know, like, and so I had to get back on the horse with fucking working out. You know, I had gotten up to like 220, you know, and I was just like, dude, I'm way too heavy. Like, I'm not happy. Like, I wasn't happy because I wasn't working out as much as I used to. You know, I stopped skating basically because I was just like, well, you know, I got to spend time or whatever. I don't want to hurt myself. And then, you know, just drinking a lot, you know what I mean? Like excessively and stuff. And it's just like, all those things, I just cut them all off. And I was like, dude, this is something wrong. I got to stop that. All right, I got to go back to the gym, because that's what makes me happy, sitting in the steam room for 10, 15 minutes and just meditating and just being in my thoughts. And that's my me time. Or, you know, I need to get back into skating because I've been doing it for so long, and it's part of my childhood. It's like, it's what made me happy as a kid. Why not try it again as an adult if that's going to make you happy, right? Like I said, when it comes back to coloring and stuff like that, you don't have to be Picasso. You don't have to be dope. You're like, this, you know, I used to have fun drawing. Or I used to have fun coloring. You know, let me get back into that. And then it puts you back into that mindset of, this is when I was happy when I was younger. This is when I was happy, you know, this is when I was at my happiest, you know what I mean? Like, I love doing homework and listening to Bob Marley. You know, I'll put on the Legends album and I'll just listen to the whole thing while I'm doing my homework. And then that actually, if I do that now, it puts me back in that mindset of like, oh man, I love this shit. You know, like, I can do homework all day. I can do whatever. I can write. I can create. But you know, you just put on that certain music. You go back. You put yourself in that certain spot where you were happy. That you were motivated. You had something. You felt like you were working towards something. And you know, find that spot. Go back to there. You know, bring it back as an adult. You know, even as an adult, you can. You know, you have more space. You have money. You can buy those things that made you happy then. That you were like, oh man, this is hard to afford back then. But now you're just like, dude, I can buy tons of this stuff and just you know, do whatever you want. And you know, I feel like people should really get into that. And I love that you're helping them. You know, see. You know, little patterns, help getting them motivated, figuring out a little space that they can feel like they matter. Because I feel like that's a big thing, is people feel like they don't matter. This, you know, what's the point? Yeah. You know, that was what we talked about a little bit earlier, and the point is, it's fun. It's fun to live. You know, that's, you know, like, so I tell my daughters, like, it's fun to be alive. I don't know what it's like to be dead, but I can tell you what it's like to be alone, and that sucks. You know what I mean? And you can feel like you're dead even when you're alive, you know, because you're just like, you have no communication. Yeah. You know, it's a sad living, and you don't want to get there. And I've been there. It's a depressing spot, man. It's really hard, and it was really hard to get out of. But, you know, luckily, I took the time and did the research, you know, listened to, you know, podcasts, listen to whatever I need, some kind of motivational speaker, somebody that is just like, you know, you need to figure yourself out, you know, what makes you happy. And then, so I did those things, and, you know, I feel great. Yeah. Yeah. You should, man. Yeah. And it's a lovely thing. I feel like happiness is awesome. Everybody needs to find that out for themselves. And, I'm glad that we have people like you that are, kick them in the ass and, give them a little bit of like, hey, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Keeping up on them, like send them an email like once a week. Hey, what'd you do this week? Did you work towards your goal a little bit? Did you do what we talked about last week? That shit's great, man. Everybody needs a coach. And if you guys need any help, motivation, inspiration, exercise, we didn't even get to the boxing and stuff, so we're going to do this again. Yeah. Next time we're going to talk about fitness, and we're going to talk about a lot of other things, because I loved it. It was a great conversation, man.
Yeah, definitely, brother.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and till next time. Jose for Central Valley Livin, Michael J. Tell everybody where they could find you.
Yeah, you go and find me on Instagram at Michael_J_fit100, or if you need some coaching one-on-one, go to michaeljfit.com. I would love to work with you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Michael J. Fit. Feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Michael J. Fit. Same thing on Snapchat, Michael J. Fit. I'm a down-to-earth guy. I've been through a lot to get to where I'm at, and I'm very understanding. So whatever you're going through, if you have a situation, man, reach out to me. I'd love to work with you and level you up.
Yeah, great, man. As always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody stay on the grind. See you later. Peace.